Right then. All right. Now, on to some other stuff, right? So it's Taco Tuesday. I got a pretty decent day here. It's nice. Entering my mileage here. I only have to put a bake igniter in an LG oven. That's not too bad. Sometimes you got to pull the whole thing out to do that, though. I had one of those deals yesterday. Yeah. And the electrical connection for the igniter for the bake element, it's a gas oven, was in the back behind the oven. So I would have had to take off the back panel, slide it out, take off the back panel, unhook the connection, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's always a workaround. So they would allow me to do all that from the front, which is what I employed. So you cut the wires on the igniter, on the old one, it's burned off. You cut the plug off the end of the new igniter, and then you attach the wires with heat-proof ceramic wire nuts. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're made out of ceramic, and they act just like a regular wire nut in any other electrical connection, except the heat can't get to them. So that's what I did. Easy peasy. So I've got another one today. I don't know if it's the same type of oven, same model, or whatever. I'll know when I get there, but if need be, I'll do the same trick to cut the time of that job in half. Yeah. Then the rest of them are all diagnostics. Yeah. So shouldn't be too bad of a day. As I might have talked about, I'm having electrical problems with the Jeep, and going through all kinds of hoops here to try to figure it out. Might have solved the problem. Not me, somebody else. So, to reiterate the story, in January I had the alternator fail on the Jeep. And I replaced that out in the snow and cold in the driveway at the turd. And for up until now, everything's been fine with that. Then all of a sudden the battery light came on the dash. I discovered I had loose battery connections and that new alternator was not charging the battery. So I did a MacGyver fix on that, old timer fix, and it worked. And the battery light came on again. So this time I actually went into O'Reilly's in the town where I live and had them use the tester, the electronic tester, to find out if it's the new alternator that's failed or the battery is now failed or what. And she said the alternator's charging fine. The battery is shorted out. You need a battery. So she sells me a battery. I was planning on trading the Jeep off, right? So I'm not going to throw good money at a battery, right? Got no choice with the alternator. You know, you pay what you pay for that, but the battery, no. So I bought their budget line bottom end battery. Install it. Battery light goes off on the dash. I'm like, hey, we're fixed. Day goes by, bing, battery light comes back on. Uh-oh. Um, so I go to the O'Reilly's up here by the store, and they load test the battery, and it's good. Um, they do a alternator test run, and it passes. I'm like, what the hell? But the manager that was up here told me, she goes, you should never have had been sold this battery. It's too small for this vehicle with all the accessories that you have on this vehicle, like the flamethrower lights, the winch, things like that. I go, yeah, but I don't use that stuff, but very rarely. And I was planning on trading this vehicle off, so that's why I went with the cheap battery. She says, well, we can try upgrading you to the better battery and see if that doesn't solve your problem. I said, well, I'm not going to pay, you know what I mean? She says, no, I'll trade it straight across. I'll give you the better battery for the same price you paid for the cheap battery. What? You're awesome. So we do that last night after work. I go home, uninstall the old battery, put the new one in, get in the Jeep this morning, start it. The battery light did not come on. I thought, that's weird. How can a different battery that just has more reserve capacity in it, I don't know. And then I start driving into work and blip, battery light comes on. Well, I'm going to O'Reilly's this morning anyway to take back the other battery so that they will credit me my account for the battery. I had to pay for the new battery up front, $115, because they don't know if I'm ever going to come back. So I got to pay for it, and then when I bring the other one back, then it credits my account. So damn straight. I literally have to go to the grocery store tonight after work, so yeah, I need money. Yeah, we're getting that 115 back. So I went there just now, and I told him, I said, the battery light's on again. I says, come out with your tester for the third time and just verify everything. She says, well, I was dealing with the assistant manager, and she's really cool. I'm going to have the manager, he's here. I'm going to have him come out and work on it with you. I'm like, all right, sweet. So he comes out with a tester. We hook it up. We run the alternator check. Alternator passes the tests. We shut the Jeep off. We let the battery stabilize. We check for standing voltage, 13.4 volts. Battery's got voltage. We then do a load test on the battery. We put a draw on it to see if it just drops away. It passed the load test. There's nothing wrong with the system. So he pulls out a flashlight and he starts looking around the engine bay, checking my grounds, from the terminal block for the battery to the chassis. He goes, yeah, that's a little grungy. You might want to pull that off and clean it up. Let me find your engine block to chassis ground. So he's shining his light down in there. And he goes, yeah, you probably want to do the same thing with that. If you got a bad ground, it in the system, in the electrical system, it does bad things, right? The path of current can't flow. So I'm like, jeez. More shit, I gotta work on this Jeep. And he's looking around, he goes, why is that relay over there unplugged? I'm like, what? A relay is a switch. It's a little black box that has a wire harness plugged into it, and it's a switching mechanism. He goes, yeah, that relay over by the battery, it's unplugged. Any reason for that? And I'm like, what? And I look, sure shit. I think what happened is when I was taking these batteries out and in and out, I knocked that plug off the relay. It was just hanging there. It wasn't plugged in. I'm like, what's the odds of this? So I plug it in, and we start the Jeep. No battery light came on. He goes, if that holds, I expect to see you with a box of Glazers. Glazer donuts from Quick Trip. I'm like, you got it, pal. That was a good eagle eye find right there. Yeah, if that solves my problem, yeah. Now, I don't doubt that originally the battery that was in the Jeep was defective or weak or couldn't take a charge anymore, whatever the case may be. It needed to be replaced. That started the whole thing. But somewhere down the line, when I pulled the old battery out, dropped the new one in, pulled that one out, dropped another one in, I must have hit that plug and knocked it off that relay. And I'm hoping that solved my problem. If it did, the guy's getting a box of donuts, man. Shit, yeah. Small price to pay for a mechanic of sorts solution. But I'll tell you what, I'm real impressed with O'Reilly's, and I told him that. I said, you guys are awesome. We strive to be. I'm like, yeah, this is why I do business with them. So, if I sell the Jeep, I had a guy yesterday, 2 people. I don't know what it is. I had a guy at the gas station came rolling up. Man, that's a sweet Jeep. I'm like, thanks, bud. And then while I was at O'Reilly's, an older gentleman pulled in a brand new pickup truck. He only had it 5 days. He pulls in. He goes, wow, that Jeep is so awesome. That's so pretty. That's so impressive. And we start talking. I built it. Oh, you built that? Oh, wow. I said, yeah, it was a stock vehicle, and I got it. And I turned it into what you see here. Oh, that's so impressive that you got those skills and blah, blah, blah. My grandson would love that. And I'm like, yeah, stickers are peeling off. Some of the armament on it is getting rusty, but it still gets looks, you know. Kind of like a woman who's hot and is getting older and still knows how to take care of herself and look sexy for her man. She's still going to get looks. I digress. You'd be surprised how many women out there just don't care and they give up. Yeah. Accept me as I am. Yeah. Then they wonder why you don't get turned on. Oh shit, I'm driving into a rabbit hole. But anyway, so he's raving about the Jeep and how his grandson or his son would really like it. I go, well, it's for sale. What? You'd sell it? I go, yeah. How much? $16,000. And so we traded information, and he got out and he took some pictures of the Jeep, and he's going to try to see if his grandson or his son are interested in buying it. That'd be cool. I don't have another vehicle lined up, but if $16,000 was for sure to start coming my way, I would borrow the work van here for a week, and then I would get with Rob and we would find a good used Dodge pickup truck that he approves of, and I would pay cash for it, and then I wouldn't be in debt. So maybe Yahweh's working here. He's just working in a roundabout way, right? We'll see if I get a strange message from a strange number about selling the Jeep. Yeah. That'd be the fastest way I ever sold a vehicle. No tire kickers, no looky-loos, no low ballers. That'd be straight up a miracle from Yahweh. So, yeah. So, Mia, didn't say a word last night. There's a reason. Yeah. So all of my ranting out in the boat there and this morning, and I was wrong. Yeah. See, I'm not a narcissist. I can admit it. She ended up developing a headache throughout the evening, the afternoon and the evening, and she ended up sitting on the couch. She said she didn't even have the TV on. She sat on the couch and she passed out. And that's not normal for her. And she woke up at 2 in the morning and went to bed. Didn't read my messages, didn't do, well, I didn't send any. I was waiting for her. You know, I'm not gonna grovel and beg and any of that. I was waiting for her to chime in. So that's what happened, according to her. And this morning she's got a migraine. Yeah. So I messaged her this morning on the way into work. Hope you have a great day. Safe travels. Have fun. After all, that is why you're working for the Amish Mafia. And then she had called me a pessimist last night before she hung up. I said, and by the way, I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist and a factualist. That's not a word, but I like it. So I'm going to keep it. And something else I said. Oh, I was sending these messages, and they were showing as delivered, but not read. And by the time I was corresponding with her, she has to go to work and whatnot. I thought today was the big start of the Iowa adventures. That starts tomorrow, so I got it wrong again. She should have been up and rolling, right? So she starts calling. And that even confirmed I thought, my theory. Oh, she's reading the messages, but she turned her read alerts off. She pulled a Diva Succubus Mongoose mind game maneuver. Yeah, the Diva will turn her read alerts off on her phone and read your messages, but you don't know that she read them. That's a form of control and dominance. Yeah, I'm doing something. You don't know anything about it. Yep. You don't know whether it's happening or not. And that's why the Diva's a cheater. She cheats on you. And you have no way of finding out or knowing. She's a master manipulator and liar. So that's what I thought Mia was doing. She turned her read alerts off on her phone so I wouldn't see that she read my message. So I made some comment about that. Nice mind game you're playing by turning off your read alerts. Stop being the Diva or something like that. Well, the phone starts ringing. I'm driving in. I almost tagged another Bambi this morning. Man. Anyway, Mia's called. She called 3 times and then she left a voicemail because I didn't answer it. For 2 reasons. I had to focus on driving. That's the new thing. And I just didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to argue in the morning. So, this morning, I almost tagged another fawn. But I saw him in time. It was kind of obvious because it was an albino fawn. I've never seen one before. Way cool. So, the general body of the animal is white fur, and then the spots were like a tan color. And he comes darting out on the left side well enough in front of me, and then stands in the road looking at me. And, you know, I looked up from what I was doing, and I saw him in enough time to mash on the brakes and stop. But from now on, taking this highway drive into work every morning, I literally can't even look down to deal with this, or at the phone, or look at my shift lever to see if I'm in the right gear. I literally am going to have to keep because these things shit out of the brush line willy-nilly. Yep. Yeah. I gotta stay laser focused. So Mia was trying to call me, and I wasn't getting on that phone. And then that little guy darts out in front of me. It's cool though, and it's good to see we got another albino deer in the neighborhood. I'm still waiting to get a glimpse of Bullwinkle, that big 14-pointer that's hanging around. I haven't seen him yet. Oh, I want to see him bad. I suppose if I started putting out some sort of nature-enhancing embellishments on my property, wink, wink, I might eventually get him coming in. Yeah. I'm considering this. Yeah. Anyway, so that was cool, but I didn't hit him. Thank good. Oh, that would have. Oh man, that would have. I'm still messed up over hitting the other one. Yeah. But anyway, that's just a Taco Tuesday update. Yeah, that video that I posted about the narcissists. I noticed some of those videos, they repeat themselves. I think they generally have what they need to say available in about 15 minutes, and they drag it out to 30, and they repeat themselves. So I noticed that was happening. I'm like, wait a minute, I heard this already. So that's why I aborted the mission. But holy crap, right? And those are the kind of messages I'm getting. Yep. Education on what I've experienced from women in my life, the red flags, things like that. So, yeah. I had to share that one, though, because that was hitting all the nails right on the head as to what she is, who she is, and what she's experiencing right now. That's pretty cool. It's not cool that she's going through it, but she brought it on herself, just like the video said. She created her own destiny. So, other than that, I got nothing. I suppose just to be silly, I can show you what a bake igniter looks like. So this is very fragile. It's like glass. It's made out of carbon. And here's the wires. Here's the plug that I cut off, and I just put the two. These are coated with an asbestos material so that the wire doesn't melt. I just snipped this off and put ceramic wire nuts in its place. But this glows really bright. And it has resistance, electrical resistance, and it sends off millivolts of current back to the computer, which then tells the computer I've reached the millivolt requirement I need. That tells me that the igniter is good. I can open up the gas valve, let the gas flow, and kawoof, the bake element comes on. So if this gets weak or it breaks, the oven doesn't work. And after doing this 15 years, I can fire up an oven, and I can tell just by looking at the brightness of this part glowing whether the igniter is weak or strong. Yeah. So that's what I will be installing today. I diagnosed it. So, yeah. All right. Other than that, I got nothing. Talk to you soon.